Hi, it's me, Rasheed Ogunlaru, author of Soul Trader, Putting the Heart Back into Your Business. Actually, I could have just shown you the book. I didn't need to do that. I'm author of Soul Trader and founder of soultrader.biz, which is a resource to help you on this journey of being your own boss when you are your business. You, one person, are your business. You're a freelancer, you're an expert, you're an entrepreneur, you're an individual, or perhaps you've got a small business, micro business, just a handful of you, or you're working in association with other people. You know, and often when people are talking about businesses, they forget that so many businesses are just one person. So many, if you like, enterprises, put whatever name you want to put next to that, where somebody is a sole trader, a sole proprietor, an individual, or that they're running a real micro business, and that you, the one person, it's really come from you, so it's you. And also, I call it Soul Trader because it's about this thing about doing business from the heart and you following your heart. Today, the latest in this mini webinar series, I wanted to talk about leadership. And leadership, of course, is spoken about a lot when it comes to our organizations or politically and all the rest of it, or from sport, so many different fields. But when we're running our own business, people often don't think about this theme around leadership as much, but it's absolutely essential, isn't it? This theme around leadership and being mindful that we are a leader. And to make this webinar, this mini webinar, really, really easy, I wanted to just break it down into 3 parts. Mindset, skill set, and resourcefulness. Mindset, skill set, resourcefulness. So those are really the themes and the threads that we're going to be looking at to help you to go on this journey of being a leader. And it is a journey where we're learning all the time. Let's just jump straight in there. The first thing is mindset. Mindset is essential. And by the way, all the things that I'm sharing today and these 3 threads are something I particularly talk about when I'm running as many of you know, I'm the Life and Business Coach Partner to the British Library's Business and IP Centre, where I run a number of sessions, Networking for Success, the Soul Trader workshop, but also I run an introductory workshop in part of the library's current Innovating for Growth program, which takes businesses and entrepreneurs who are on that journey where they're wanting to grow on this particular journey. And I run the very first workshop, and I talk about these 3 things, mindset, skill set, and resourcefulness. Let's start off with mindset. This is absolutely key because without mindset, without me believing in who I am and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, very little can happen. Mindset is everything from our connectedness to who we are, our believing in what we do, and being really dedicated to what we do as in the way an athlete would be. And again, in Soul Trader, the book, I talk about this, the attitude of an athlete, adopting the attitude of an athlete. And I say this because whatever stage of your business that you're at, if you don't have that belief in you and what it is that you're doing, it's going to be so difficult for you to move forward. And it's going to be really difficult for people to buy into you, because if you don't believe in you, if you're tripping yourself up, how on earth is it somebody else can believe in you and your product and what it is that you do? Or how is it you can attract the investment that you're wanting? Or how is it that you can attract the customers that you're wanting? How is it that you're able to make the changes in your field, in your industry that you're wanting to see, if you don't believe in you, if you don't have that mindset? Mindset is also about focus, it's about discipline. So in this space, it's really interesting how the mindset is a heartful mindset of really being passionate about what we are and what our gifts and what it is that we're here to do. And with a very clear and, if you like, a strong mind. This is who I am, this is the vision, these are the things that we're trying to create, these are the steps that are going to be required in order to bring this product to market, in order to get to the next stage, in order to get to the next stage. Also that mindset that you need when you hit hurdles. So my tip here is really adopting the attitude of an athlete. Study your field, master your craft, gather the right team, gain and win supporters, perform at 100%. Focus on your race rather than the race of everybody else. Really being really aligned to who you are and your unique calling and your unique path. That is the mindset. And so you're going to need to do whatever it is that puts you in that space where you're in richest mindset. And very often that, first of all, means really giving yourself credit for who you are, really having gratitude for being here, and really beginning to see and value your gifts and your talents. It's essential that you see your value in order for you to be valued and in order for you to fully bring the fullness of the value to what it is that you're doing. So mindset is stage number one. You may be lucky that you might already have that. You might be very, very self-motivated. It might mean you need to go out there, get a coach or get a mentor to help you on that particular journey. It might well be the case that you need to surround yourself with like-minded or perhaps people minded actually above you in their consciousness and their confidence and so on, in order to support yourself and developing that kind of a team. Which interestingly leads us beautifully onto the second point, which is skill set. So it's one thing else having the mindset, isn't it? I want to do this, I want to create this product or take this business and this service from this stage to that stage, whatever it is that is in your mind. And actually that wraps up the mind bit. You've got to have that clarity, that strategy, that mission, knowing where it is you're going. And sometimes, of course, that may change as you go along the journey, and that vision of what it is that is you're trying to create and what success would look like. And sometimes that will change, it will unfold, it will evolve, and it will shift as your industry shifts, as your journey shifts, as everything else shifts. But you've got to have that sense of who you are and why you are and what it is that you're doing in terms of your business. And then that leads us on to a skill set, because guess what? As a leader, there are a number of skills that you're going to need. So just in the same way that you're going to have that mindset to inspire you and motivate yourself and to motivate the team, that's that mindset bit that we've just been talking about. But there's also going to be a range of skills that it is that you're going to need. Now, depending who you are, if you are a pure sole trader or one person SOLE trader, let's say you're a consultant, you're a therapist, you are doing something where you intend that it will always be you, then that means that you're going to need to, on one level, make sure that you're skilled, you've got the skills, the talents that you need, and that it might well be that you've got just a supportive, if you like, virtual team of people who can help you. So when you need the legal advice, you can buy in or go to that person. When you need the graphic design advice and support and expertise, that you can seek that out. You've got those particular people that you can call on, that you've got the accountant that you can call on. So interestingly here, even if you are a one-person sole trader, you will still need a team. It's just that team won't be employees, because you will just dip into them as and when. But let's zoom back a little bit. First of all, what are the skills and talents that you need? Again, let's look at it through the lens of being the attitude of an athlete. Let's say I'm an athlete, I want to be a great athlete, I want to be an Olympic athlete, then that means that I need to raise my game. It means that I need to put the training in, I need to do the work, I need to become really, really good at doing what I'm doing. I may have told this story many times before, but I was really clear that when I first trained as a coach, I didn't just want to be a coach, I wanted to be a great coach. And so I hired the person at the coaching academy where I trained with and one of the trainers to coach me, even though it's just a few sessions, because I knew I wanted to be really good coach. And this particular person had similar values, they'd been walking a similar path to me, so I wanted to hire them to be my coach because I wanted to be great at it. I was very, very clear about that. But equally, it might be that you're producing a product. The product that you need to be has to be great. I was interviewing my best friend from many years ago from my singing days, and Marcus, that you may have seen that or may have heard that interview on the Soul Trader podcast. And we were talking about a number of things, and we were talking about his business, and he produces men's hair, grooming and thingy products, everything from the beard oils, colognes, all of these kind of products, his barbershop botanicals range of products. And he was talking about that when he really was producing these organic, these very healthy products, he was very, 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 very clear that he wanted them to be great. So he looked at what products were out there, and these ones were good, but he thought, could we perhaps replace these things that might still not be doing you much good with other things which are doing you great for you. So he was really, really clear that he wanted to be really good at that. So there was learning in terms of his actual product to make the product as good as it could be, and then there's of course that learning that self and business development that you need to do to make you really, really good at what it is you're doing. So there's always the skills journey. So what are the skills that you have? What are the skills that you lack? What are the things that you're good at? What are the things you're passionate about? What are the things that you're not interested in? What are the things that you're not great at? And so you're going to need to probably be competent, have a level of competence in all of the aspects of your business: finance, marketing, and operations. But it may well be that I'm not strong in that area. I need to be strong in that. I need to hire in that expertise. I was very, very, very clear very early on. I knew that the stuff to do with the accounting, the bookkeeping was not my field of expertise. I understand money enough to understand what it is, how it works, and I'm quite good with it on a day-to-day basis. But I knew that when it came to some of the technical things and the compliance things about that wasn't my first strength. So I knew very, very early on getting the accountant on board was really, really, really important. I know at a certain point getting the legal advice on board is really important. So for the sole trader, what's really important, and I talk about this at length in the chapters around cooperation, is beginning to map out, okay, who are all the contacts I have? Who are the people that I need? What are the contacts that I need? And so that you can go out there and network and build those contacts. Funny enough, today, soon after recording this, I'm going to be running my monthly Networking for Success event at the British Library's Business and IP Centre, which is going to help people to learn how to network effectively, strategically, and so on. So again, very early in my business, I joined a business organisation that, among other things, had provided networking events and so on. I went along there. So you need to begin to build your team. So whether it is an employed team, and that might be where you're at, where you realise now, actually we need to now hire staff. I mentioned just a few minutes ago the British Library and their Innovating for Growth programme. I was running the first day workshop, and there was a guy there who was a founder of a business which is growing very, very quickly. And funny enough, it uses coaching as part of their particular business model, and they're growing all the time. There's a number of them now that are involved in the business, and they're needing to look at that from a number of perspectives. There are people who are employed, there are people who are a supporting team, and then there are particular consultants who deliver certain pieces of work on a freelance basis. So there are many, many different ways in which this thing around your team can be constructed. And again, we touched on that in the book Soul Trader. So really, it's worth thinking about, okay, where am my virtual team and my real team of people who can help and who can support me. What you're wanting to do is to build a really rich network of people who have exceptional skills, who share your values but have different skills, and they probably may well also see the world in a slightly different way, but there's something in terms of that heart which is really shared. So that's that thing in terms of skill set. And the more you surround yourself with also other people who are gifted and who are talented and so on, the more it is that you'll be able to spot and have those conversations where you need to develop new skills and talents. Okay, finally, the last area I want to talk about today in this mini webinar is resourcefulness. Resourcefulness. Resourcefulness kind of brings together both the mindset and the skill set, because guess what? Your industry is going to change, the world is going to change, the economy is changing, the political circumstances and environment that you're in is changing, technology is changing and evolving all the time. And so what you can really get a sense of from where we already are in this webinar is that this leadership side of being an entrepreneur and any aspect of leadership is complex. It is multifaceted. There are so many bits of it. There's the motivating yourself, there's building a team, there's motivating a team, and then there's the actual product or the service, whatever it is that you're creating. So this means that we need to be resourceful, because things, as I've just touched on, are shifting all the time. So I guess resourcefulness in many ways is about being aware of yourself and your passion, being aware of what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it and where it is that you're going. It is that mindset thing of believing in yourself and what it is that you're about and your abilities and why, and so having that heart connection to what it is that you're doing. But then there are going to be many external factors which are going to come along. There's changes in your industry, there's changes in terms of operational factors, there's changes in terms of the suppliers, or a supplier goes bust, or a major customer stops buying from you. All sorts of things that are going to require you being resourceful. I remember many years ago, I'd done a talk at a particular event. It was a long time ago. It was very in the early days of my business. It's far more than 10 years ago. It's maybe about 12 or 13 or 14 years ago. And I'd given this talk, including there had been quite a successful entrepreneur was there, and it just so happened that business went into liquidation, and I was due a sum of money, and at that time the sum of money I was due was quite significant in terms of my business. The business wasn't where it was with now, and I had to be kind of resourceful about, working out what do I do now. I remember another particular time when one of my major clients has stopped being a client, and I needed to kind of be resourceful and think, okay, what do I do now? How do I shift things in terms of the business? And so there's going to be just so many things that are going to require resourcefulness, including all sorts of things that we can't foresee. When I started my business, there was very little, social media was in its infancy. It certainly was in its infancy in terms of business when I very first began coaching. Websites, people having websites for the kind of things that they do, it was relatively speaking early days. And so that needed to change, and I need to be resourceful to kind of shift with this. This resourcefulness is that willingness and that readiness to flow with life as life is unfolding, because otherwise it's going to be the case that we are left behind. And so this is where it is this combination between skill set and mindset. So based on that, I want you to pause. I want us to pause, because I've thrown quite a lot at you for you to consider. And I want to invite you just to be still, to be silent. You might even want to close your eyes, and just to be present. And I want you to invite you to just think, first of all, okay, or just to sit with, it might not even be a thinking process, to just let emerge, to let bubble up, okay, where am I at in my mindset? Is my mind quiet enough? Am I on board with myself? Am I kind of kicking myself? How is it that I can be really at peace with myself and at peace with what I do, so I'm loving who I am and what I do and why am I doing it? And what's the mindset that I'm going to need to have to move forward and to progress and to overcome all the hurdles that will surely come my way, just like an athlete? Sit with that and see what bubbles up. And then this thing about skill set, okay, what are the skills and the resources? What are the skills that your business need, the challenges that your business faces, or the things that you need help with? What are those skills? And what are the ones that are periodical? What are the things that are right now? What are those things that are ongoing? And just sit with these things, let them bubble up, get clear on that. So you might think, okay, I need an expert who can help me with this. I need to find somebody who can help me in my marketing. I need somebody who understands about the law, who can look after this. I need some operational help in terms of X and Y, or somebody can fill in these things. Really let those things bubble up. And then resourcefulness. Knowing that life is uncertain, it's changeable. How is it you're going to need to be in? It might be that some very specific resources that are required now, but how is it that you're going to be resourceful? How is it that you've already been resourceful? Maybe you've been incredibly resourceful in terms of what you've done. And so this place of resourcefulness is everything from your creativity, your intuition. I was coaching somebody just yesterday, and she said, throughout my career, there have been things that have required me to be resourceful, to bring in different people, to come up with creative solutions, to do all sorts of things and to innovate in order to make things happen. And that's what we're doing here. And remember that there's a chapter on creativity in the Soul Trader book. So I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to carry on for too long, but I just wanted to give you lots of things to think about this on this leadership journey. I think as I do, though, wrap that up, and just before I do sign off, my tip here is remember to, just like an athlete, every time that you hit a hurdle, adjust your stride pattern. Realise that you're going to learn far more from the races and the battles and the games and the engagements that you lose than the ones that you win. The ones where there are setbacks will teach you far more. And so have that attitude of constant curiosity and of constant learning and embracing. And that's going to really hugely help you on this leadership journey. And also, as we begin to wrap up this leadership journey, we need to think somewhat about those people who it is that we are leading. Be it that we are an individual person and the leadership is more of the thought leadership, where the people who are following what you do, particularly in this kind of social media world, we need to be mindful, we need to be responsible, and we need to genuinely have their interest in mind. So I have this saying that business should be transformational, not merely transactional. How is that you can genuinely be giving to them and really genuinely supporting them and wishing them well on their life journey? How is it that when that if you have members of staff that you can be kind to them, you can really genuinely value them and really build a safe, supportive team ethic that helps all of them to flow and to flourish and to follow their own dreams and their own ambitions? And how is it also, if you have associates and so on, that you can keep them in heart and mind and have those rich relationships with them? And how is it that in terms of your own life personally and in terms of the people that are in your own life, that you can be mindful and caring and that you don't negate them and you know that they recognise that they're important? And of course, starting off with yourself and your health and your own well-being, that you put in that time for you to start off with, so you've got the energy you need, that nourishment that you need, mind, body and spirit, in order to move forward. So that's today's mini webinar on leadership. I just want to say, remember, there's lots more support for you. Do check out the Soul Trader YouTube channel, lots of videos. All of these webinars are there. There's lots to enjoy on the Soul Trader, soul-trader.biz website. You can hear all the podcasts, you can watch back the old webinars. There's the Coach Yourself program for those of you who want a Coaching Yourself program, and you're a self-starter, or kind of help you coach yourself. That's that leadership bit, that self-leadership bit also. And I was really passionate about that because not everybody has the funding for coaching, and my coaching practice, I'm often very, very busy, so there's only a handful of people I coach one-to-one these days in terms of as far as business is concerned. So there's lots of resources there. We've got a Facebook page, and you'll find me also on Instagram, and you'll find me on Twitter, and there is a Soul Trader Twitter page too. So there's lots and lots of stuff just to help you to stay on track, and a Soul Trader Facebook page also. So thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you at a future Soul Trader event. They run quarter at the British Library. So check my website, rosario.com, or the Soul Trader website for them. I happen to be recording this right toward the end of 2019. You might be watching this way into 2020 or beyond. I mention that because sometimes there's a while before we list all of the new dates for the new year, but those dates for the new year will be coming soon. Anyway, I hope to see you at a future event, or I hope to connect with you virtually here, online, or via these talks. So thank you so much for your time, and wishing you every joy and happiness in your business and in your career. Lots of love. Take good care from me, Rasheed, and Soul Trader the book. Take care.